Morning guys, welcome back to the garage. It's Saturday morning. Yesterday I spent about 2 hours meticulously cleaning the Ninja. This is a 2012 and she just turned 29,000 miles. My plan is with this bike to get more than 34,000 miles. That'll kind of be a milestone for me. I bought this bike brand new, so to be able to have it from brand new and ride it longer than I've ever ridden any of my other motorcycles is pretty exciting. Looking nice and clean right now, probably a little bit happier. She probably gets a little jealous watching me always working on the bug. So let's turn this camera around, point it at the bug, start running some brake lines and make some modifications to my pressure bleeder to get it on those master cylinders and start pushing through some fluid. So what I've done so far, I've got my AN adapter into the caliper here. I've got my flexible brake line with a 90-degree here. This is an AN3. It kind of hugs the spindle here, goes up over the U-joint. It's got a fastener there. It comes down. I've got a fastener there. Two other fasteners. Then I've got flex line here going into a hard connection right beyond the tube there. So I'm happy with this. However, brake lines are serious, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the springs off this, take the shock absorber out so that I can actually cycle this through its full suspension, full compression, full droop, so I can see what's happening to these brake lines when they're at their fully flexed positions, just so that I can make sure that nothing's binding, nothing seems like it's kinking or having to flex too much or anything like that. So yesterday I ran the flexible rear brake lines for the rear suspension. I also went through the bug and tightened every single fitting from the master cylinders all the way back to the calipers. I've got this pressure bleeder, which I've now got some brake fluid in it. This is what I'm going to use to, I guess you could call it bleed the brakes or fill the system. This is an adapter that goes on top of the master cylinder. It's got a little hole in it there. What happens is this has an air pump on it. You pump this up, it pressurizes the cylinder. There's a dip tube in here for the brake fluid. When you pressurize the cylinder, it pushes brake fluid up through here, which then pushes it into your master cylinder, pressurizes your master cylinder with, I usually pump this up to about 15-20 psi. Well, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to jack the back end up, take the wheels off, take the tires off so that I've got good access to the bleeders and all that. Then I'm going to take this to my master cylinder. I'm going to fill the master cylinder up with about 3/4 full of brake fluid. I'm not going to fill it all the way. Then I'm going to strap this onto the top of my master cylinder. Then I'm going to pump this up to about 15-20 psi. Then I'm going to start cracking my bleeders on both sides of the calipers here and let it push all the brake fluid through and push all the air through. I'll work the pedal up at the master cylinder a little bit as I'm doing that. I'll also work the cutting brakes to push some fluid through those as well. So now I've got the pressure bleeder on the master cylinder, and now tires are off at each wheel. This is just an empty, this is what I bought the brake fluid in. This is an empty container. And I'll put that like that. Now I've got the exact same thing on the other side. So I'm going to go pressurize the vessel, pushing brake fluid into the master cylinder. Once I get that at about 20 psi, I'm going to come back here and crack these, let it start pushing fluid through. I just pressure bled the clutch, the front brakes, and the rear brakes. And the rear brakes have the cutting brakes, which adds some complexity to it. With that pressure bleeder, it was crazy how well that went. The clutch went flawlessly, not a single issue. Literally just hooked up the pressure bleeder, pushed it through, she was done. Front brakes, same deal. Jacked it up, took the front tires off, hooked up the pressure bleeder, pushed about 20 psi at it, cracked the bleeders on both sides, boom, pulled out all the air, pushed out all the air, shut it, good to go. The rears, a little bit, I had one leak on one fitting on the cutting brakes, which I had to tighten up. But all in all, like really smooth for everything that I did. And now the brake, I mean, she's got pressure in all the lines. She's got actually not just a solid brake pedal, like solid. As soon as you touch that thing with your foot, it goes about like an inch and a half in. It barely moves, and you've got tight pressure. There's probably no air in that system whatsoever. And same thing with the cutting brakes. When you pull those cutting brakes, they are rock solid. I really anticipated a couple more leaks, a lot more problems. So I'm extremely happy with how this came out, and I'm really excited to be moving forward, because now it's got brakes. It's got a clutch, it's got brakes. The next project is going to be start with the electrical. Guys, thanks for going along with me on this video. If you've watched some of my other videos, thank you for that. I appreciate it. If you've been leaving comments, I appreciate that. If you want to leave some more comments or subscribe, if this is the first time you've seen any of my videos, have at it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.